Championship halftime, Division 6 state title game. And the D6 Offensive Player of the Year, Riley Hulskamp. 72 of his 89 yards on this run. Put the Anna Rockets up 28-7. It's 28-14 at halftime. Schools playing in their very first state championship game. Neil Sika, Brett Hiltbrand, Matt DeRazio here at the break. Little familiar storyline from what we saw last night in D2. You run the football well, you take advantage of mistakes, and that's why Anna's up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, doing a great job controlling the football, running it, as you mentioned, and creating turnovers and getting points off the turnovers. You got to love that. Here's the thing, though. They've got to get off the football field on 4th down. They can't give this offense and Bo Brungard time to second chances. He is a special player that can make special plays.
Those early mistakes that we saw from Springfield, the fumbles, about 4 or 5 false start penalties today, they've kind of started to kind of find their way a little bit. But you're absolutely right. They will not survive this game if they keep picking up 4th and 10s, 4th and 15s, and getting first downs on those plays. But I give credit to Sean Guerrero and his team. Touchdown there right before the end of the half, getting back in this. I think they got a little bit of momentum now when they come out here in the third quarter.
They are Springfield local. The championship felt like it was going to be miles away. They were down 21-0, but they run a little bit of trick plays. David Duval won the Open Championship. Not that David Duval, but he's wide open. That was a nice little setup on the touchdown, and Brungard could play.
First catch of the year for him. Heck of a time to make it, but that's a fantastic play call for sure. That's all you can ask for if you're Springfield. For sure.
All right, we have a football game here at the break. 28-14, number 1 team in Division 6, Anna, is up a couple of touchdowns. Back with more of our halftime activities from Canton. After this, with a look at your new...
Is the industry's only two-time
team at halftime, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium here on Spectrum News 1. Neil Sika with the Senior Director of Operations for the OHSAA, Bob Goldering. Great to see you. It's a normal tradition, but it's always good to talk here.
Yes, it's great to be back, and thanks for having me.
Silver anniversary for you, 25 years with the OHSAA. What, as this thing has evolved, has impressed you the most, and the changes that have come about over the last 2 decades plus?
Well, obviously, football-wise, we've seen facilities change, and we're here in this great stadium in Canton, and it's just beautiful, and we have a great game and a great crowd here today. Probably the biggest change I've seen in my career really has been with technology. Back in the day when I was our communication director for my first 13 years, we didn't have a website, there wasn't social media. Football, for example, the reporters from out the state would fax in their scores. We would have to enter them into the computer. It would calculate the results, and then each week we would actually mail all the computer rankings across the state to all the schools. So things have really changed. Obviously, there's great exposure now for our student athletes and the schools through social media. And then we even took a big step, probably a little bit behind the times, but rounds 2 through 4, some for rounds 1 of the playoffs, fans were able to purchase tickets online. Obviously, for the finals, it's been in place online for a while. But I'd say one of the biggest change besides facilities has been technology.
Yeah, the digital world taking shape, of course, even at the scholastic level. It's the last fall sports tournament, and then we're going to turn our attention to winter. What can we expect?
Well, there are a couple changes in place for some of our winter sports. Obviously, sports have, winter-wise have taken off here already, and it won't be long before our finals are in place. But for swimming and diving, we're adding 4 Paralympic events at the district level for boys and girls in 2 different categories. Hopefully that'll grow and we can have that at the state level, not too far down the road. The State Wrestling Coaches Association is adding a girls state tournament this year. The girls wrestling is really growing, and the thought is maybe someday they would say we'll take that on. And then for basketball, obviously we've been at the Schottenstein Center for a number of years now. The girls tournament is moving to St. John Arena across the street at Ohio State, and the boys will be there the following year. So a little bit of change for our winter tournaments upcoming.
Love that building, of course, St. John Arena, historic in its own right, and great facilities. Even though that's old, it's still a beaut. This is a phenomenal facility. OHSAA is kind of spoiled with the sites they've had across all sports.
Oh, you're exactly right. Besides here in football in the fall, we use such great facilities as Moffrey Stadium for soccer, Wright State for volleyball. We use the Lindner Center for tennis in the spring and the fall. In the winter, we mentioned the Schottenstein Center for wrestling and the basketballs in the past. Right across the street here is the Brannon Center, or Brannon Natatorium for state swimming and diving. The list goes on and on. We're really blessed to have great facilities, not only for our participating schools, but for their fans, and it takes great hosts to operate and run those tournaments for us.
Bob, always great to see you. Senior Director of Operations for the OHSAA, Bob Goldring, as Anna leads 28-14 on Springfield Local here at the half. Bixler touchdown run has them up 2 touchdowns. David, Vince, Kelly.
At Elk and Elk is trying to help injured people get their lives back on track.
I couldn't ask for a more wonderful team. I had 5 trucks to take care of and a family to take care of. They gave me the ability to start over again.
I'm freaking out. I can't stop thinking about using. There's a voice in my head says I'm better off dead.
I thought I had it all under control.
It's time to get clean or die. Don't suffer alone. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Call 800-437-8017.
A world of Christmas wonder awaits at Ogilvy in Wheeling, West Virginia. Ho, 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 ho. Experience the magic of the season. Ho, 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 ho.
Growing up, I've always enjoyed math and science. At Shawnee, they had a plastics engineering program. My first internship was Cross-Mafai, which is a machine manufacturer. They produce injection molders. My second internship was at Honda of America, and be given that opportunity. And none of those opportunities would be available if it wasn't for Shawnee. I'm Aaron, and I invite you to discover Shawnee State University for yourself. Visit discover.shawnee.edu.
Where are we as Americans in 2019? How divided are we? I want to frankly ask what's going on in this country. What are people's concerns? What are people's fears? What are people's hopes? There's a lot of complex issues that are tying us all up. But what I'm hoping for is that we pose some of the questions and get people thinking about other points of view.
Welcome back to the booth here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. 28-14, the Anna Rockets leading the Springfield Local Tigers here in the Division VI championship game. David Wilson along with Vince Soriano and Kellyanne Stitz. So 2 quarters in the books. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, Vince. It was all Rockets early, and then Springfield managed to come back with a couple of late scores. Here's one of the turnovers that led to an Anna TD.
Yeah, created a turnover that they just couldn't have. Good inside zone for the touchdown there.
Camp has been outstanding in this game.
Quarterback counter, there it is. That's that read counter that Springfield is having a tough time defending.
Here you see the fumble coming up.
Yeah, he cut back across the grain. Play action pass. Right off of the jet sweep.
That was Nolan Emerson on that 41-yard catch, called expertly by Vince Soriano.
Good sit route.
There's that little fade to the back corner of the end zone. Beautiful catch.
Unbelievable catch.
Evan Olin hauled that one in from 17 yards out. And here is the big 72-yard sprint for Camp.
Great cutback, Dave, off of that outside zone play.
Just did get it to the pylon for the score. The second touchdown of the afternoon. So now you have the Tigers coming back. Vince, a couple of clutch plays on 4th down. And here's the reverse that went for the TD to Duval.
This was critical. They needed to get something like this. Great play at the right time.
28-14. So here are your first half stats, Vince. Obviously that top number, -7 rushing for Springfield Local. They have really been forced to go to the air.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing in the second half. If I'm in that locker room at halftime, I am telling my players we have to start establishing the run a little bit. We've got to try to get more balance. We're back in this game. We shot ourselves in the foot so many times in the first quarter, and we're still only down by 2 touchdowns. Let's get a little bit of balance in our attack.
Anna really taking care of the football. No turnovers in the first half. And so those are the numbers. The big number, 28-14 Rockets. Springfield will have the ball to start the third quarter. Coming.
Indoor entertainment. Racing for ages 4 and up with Columbus's fastest indoor racing with speeds up to 35 miles an hour. Experience laser tag on a whole new level with tactical laser warfare missions and over 10,000 square feet of arena space. Test your skills of problem solving and teamwork in one of our 3 next-gen escape rooms. Easy to get to, just 3 exits east of downtown. Book your next adventure at gbkcolumbus.com.
I grew up in Lucasville, Ohio. The small class sizes are the reason why I saw Shawnee as a path for me. The professors pay attention to each student individually. If you get a sense of community, by semester 1, I knew right then that I had chosen the right major, and that's something that I valued very much. I'm Lean, and I invite you to discover Shawnee State University for yourself. Visit discover.shawnee.edu.
Is the place getting bigger? 20 years ago, I would have been there already.
Hello, Buckmans. You know what that is? Picture of your parents bringing you home from the hospital.
You are going to back off and give your daughter a little space.
Oh, she has all the space in the world. She's 5 blocks away.
Guess who's going to be guest speaker in your class tomorrow?
No one can know we're related.
Thank you, honey. Whoa! Okay.
I love her. I really, really do.
I love you too. Can I ask you a question?
Anything.
It's about Mabel.
Yeah, you're on your own, hot chocolate.
Oh, come on.
Drum. The OHSAA State Football Championships on Spectrum News 1 are brought to you by Elk & Elk. Every client, every day.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter here in our first of 3 championship games coming your way today on Spectrum News 1, D3 and D1 waiting in the wings in that order. Right now the Division 6 championship being contested between New Middletown, Springfield, and Anna. Glad to have you with us today as we get ready for the start of the second half. See some of the Tigers out there getting loosened up for the start of the third quarter. They won the toss. Springfield deferred, so they will get the ball to start play here in quarter number 3. So Vince, you mentioned before the break, you get a little bit of momentum, some positive energy going into the locker room. The Tigers, how might they be feeling right now?
Well, I think they're feeling a little more confident. They're back in the game. If they can take this kickoff and go down and get some kind of points in this drive, I think they know they've weathered the storm to a certain extent, that's probably the most penalties and turnovers that they had in the first quarter and the first half all year. And they've weathered that, and they've been able to get 2 big scores and 2 nice drives that maybe they're going to get themselves back in the game. On the other hand, Dave, if I'm Anna, they have remained really efficient, staying ahead of the chains, 4 or 5 yards, and of course they got the big play by Riley Holzkamp on that outside zone. But they've got to approach this game in the second half. If I'm the head football coach at Anna, I'm telling them it's 0-0.
There are the stars to watch that we talked about in our open today, Vince. Bo Brengard, you see him loosening up that right throwing arm, as well as Riley Hulskamp, some of their numbers.
Yeah, Bo has done a pretty good job in the passing game, but they have to do something to get him involved in the rushing game, because that's been their dynamic threat all year. Because letting him run the football as well as pass it, I think Riley Holzkamp has played an outstanding game. He has done exactly what they have asked him to do, and he has kept them ahead of the chains along with a big play. So let's see how this continues in the second half.
Well, Brungard with those 10 rushing yards is at 999 yards rushing for the season. So to your point, a 1,000-yard rushing quarterback on the year. We'll try to get that phase of his game going here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, they have got to come back with the plays that he has been successful with, running the football. Also, you got to give Anna credit. They have done a very good job on the perimeter. When he runs those sprint out passes that are run or pass, they have contained him, they have pulled him up, and the outside linebackers are doing a really good job, Kovacs and Richards, of keeping him pulled up and not letting him get to the edge.
Well, Coach, we have a heat wave here. Gone up 4 degrees since game time. We're at 46 right now.
I'm sure the people sitting in the stands appreciate that deeply. I know I would if I was sitting in the stands. I get cold now at the games. I never get cold when I was coaching, but I do now.
You know, Coach, we talk a lot on the media side about the weather for these games, the time of the kickoffs. You know, a 10 a.m. kickoff, much different than normal high school football. I think when you get right down to it, student athletes, they could not care any less about the time or the temperature. They're excited to play football.
Once the game starts, they don't really know what the weather is. They're just going out and playing and trying to win and do the very best they can.
Okay, Anna ready to kick off. Will Luthman will do the honors. Glad you're with us this afternoon. It's still morning technically, but for this Division 6 state championship game. Come the Tigers on the return.
And hopefully, Dave, Springfield local can get something going with their special teams. You know, create a big special teams play.
Johnson Like on the return for the Tigers. A modest gain back to the 22-yard line. That's where the Tigers offense will take over. Let's take a look at that Springfield local drive chart from the first half. There you see a couple of punts and a fumble early. It's also a bad punt on one of those that gave Anna good field position. Then they really stabilized things with 2 late touchdowns.
Notice they were in a 2-back set. Pulled a guard and they were trapping. So
David Duvall got the first carry. Let's check in on the sideline with Kelly Enstitz.
Hey guys, I was able to catch up with Coach Guerrero. As you saw, Tigers starting to gain some momentum in the end of that first half. He said they just need to calm down. They need to calm their nerves and do what they've done all year. And that goes back to their motto, do your job. He said he didn't say much to motivate them. Just, again, to remind them, this is just any other game. Calm down, do your assignments, and settle down and give Bo a chance to get the ball, get it going in the pocket so he can make some plays to drive them down the field. But again, just need to calm down a little bit, and he believes they'll be in good shape.
Well, he runs it straight ahead there, Coach. It's a nice gain, and now a very manageable 3rd down and 3.
Dave, they're doing exactly what we just talked about. He has 2 backs in the backfield. He's trying to get some lead blockers for Bo Brungard. They're going to run the football. Notice they're ahead of the chains. It's 3rd and 3. So they've gotten 7 yards in 2 plays. They're going to run the ball again.
Brother Grady got one guard, snaps it back, but flags fly all over the place.
Offense. Number 11. 5 yard. Still 3rd down.
Can't put themselves behind the chain. They had 2 really nice running plays in a manageable 3rd and 3, and now they've pushed themselves back to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
They're operating in their own territory at the 24.5-yard line at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium.
Go to 4 wides, but they're keeping a running back in the backfield.
Yard to throw, it's picked up. Anna has the football, that's Hulskamp. To the 10, to the 5, pick 6.
That was an RPO. He was reading the defender, pulled it, and was trying to throw the quick slant. The Hulskamp read it, jumped it, touchdown.
His 4th interception, his 2nd INT return for a touchdown.
They were reading the outside linebacker, did not see the safety coming up. They were reading that outside linebacker, and the outside linebacker bid on the run. So Brungard pulled it to throw the slant, and the safety came downhill over top of it. That's a dangerous part of that play. It's a good play, but when the safety can react like that, it makes it very difficult to complete.
Zach Ambos set up for the point after. And it might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. It goes off to the left, no good, so they settle for 6. 34-14. What a start for the Rockets with a big defensive play. We've seen them excel in all 3 phases today.
Reading the outside. He's reading number 8, the outside linebacker. You can see right there. And the safety comes down and picks it. He was reading Ben Kovacs. And he went inside for the run, which is normal, and they thought they were going to get the slant behind him because he's usually the defender that's sitting in that flat.
Huelskamp has done it all this season for the Anna Rockets. Not only his offensive prowess, but as we mentioned, 2 pick sixes this year. That one goes for 32 yards. He has also thrown during the regular season a 76-yard touchdown pass to Nolan Emerson. This guy, he is all over the field, but we've seen big plays for Anna offensively, defensively, and on special teams.
Yes, they're playing very sound football in all 3 phases. And boy, if you're Anna, that is exactly what you would want coming out, particularly since you kicked off.
Walker will take a knee, so that's a touchback.
And if you're Springfield local, that was the last thing that you wanted to do in that given situation, particularly when you were only down by 2 touchdowns.
Nick Marino, graduate of Urbana, in his 5th year with Anna, 36-20, has him in the state championship game for the first time. And right now, in a very favorable position early 3rd quarter, but we have a lot of football left to be played. Football resting at the 21st and 10. Nice pass. That's Olin. Caught at the last second defensively by Brandon Shannon, the free safety, before he could move it on down the sideline.
There's a sprint out with a rollout, and what Anna is doing is they're pressuring whatever way the motion comes.
27 yards.
Really well blocked. They picked up that blitz coming off the edge, and were able to put it in there on that wheel route.
Mark Brungard is the offensive coordinator for the Tigers. Get a 27-yard pickup there. And Olin has to come back to that one. Might have gained a half yard or so, Coach. Not much there.
No.
2nd down.
And that was an RPO. By RPO, we mean a run-pass option, where the quarterback can either hand the ball off if he's reading a defender out in space in conflict. If that defender comes towards the run, then he will throw the ball. If he stays out there, they will run the ball. So they have run 2 so far this second half, and they had not run any in the first half. So that's a little different philosophy.
2nd down and 9 from the 48. Line drive pass. Hauled in by Mitch Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour ran a slant, and the inside receiver Olin ran an out cut.
Minnick got him down to the turf, the defensive end.
3rd down and 3.
Brungard in the shotgun behind his brother Brady. Snap it back to him and he'll run it. And he got the 1st down, running around that right side. And seal block there by Corey Hatton, the right tackle.
Yeah, interesting, they put trips into the short side of the field, ran to the trips with the quarterback sweep. They had a lead blocker with the back and 3 receivers over there to block the defenders. They have made some drastic changes at halftime in their philosophy of how they're going to attack.
Big play of this drive so far, the 27-yard pass to Evan Olin, who also has a touchdown reception today. 1st and 10, 40-yard line.
Back to empty.
Brungard thinking about running it now. A lot of pursuit, and they catch it.
I think that was a design quarterback draw, Dave. And again, Anna is doing a tremendous job. Huelskamp coming off the edge. a safety coming downhill, making that play. They are doing a great job of protecting the perimeter. And I think that's one of the keys of the game right now for them. I think Springfield Local was doing a better job when they were in that 1 and 2 back set. They're empty, and they're going to try to isolate the quarterback.
2nd and 10. Another slant route deflected away. They were looking for Seymour and a diving defensive deflection by Ben Kovacs.
Yeah, there's double slants there. He's trying to throw it right in there, and both receivers ran slants, which are great routes versus man-to-man, which Anna is playing. But Anna is doing a lot more now of keeping us one safety over top or two safeties over top. They're very cognizant of the fact of not to give up the big play. Time is on their side. Make Springfield drive the football. Jet sweep, reverse.
Seymour to Walker. He's losing ground fast. And runs into a traffic jam over there at about the 45-yard line. That's going to lose 5 yards, Coach.
Yeah, that was the reverse that they set up the trick play with. It's the same scheme, only they did not toss it back to the quarterback. The quarterback's trying to block the edge, Bo Brungard. Just Anna is really good on the perimeter. And again, Riley Holzkamp coming down from that safety spot.
Cam Stewart helped as well. Isaac Leininger was there for the Rockets. They lead by 20. It's 4th down and 14. In Anna territory, Tigers will go for it. One guard feels the pressure coming and got back to about the line of scrimmage. It'll go over to the Rockets on downs.
Yeah, they had that same play that they hit the slant on before. But Anna had it covered, and we said one of the keys of the game for Anna was to stop the quarterback runs, and I think they've done so far a pretty significant job of doing that and not letting Brungard have big, huge plays.
The Rockets' drive history in this game, they're on a pretty good streak right now, Coach.
Yes, they are. They've got it rolling offensively. And they've got, they may try for a little more balance, but we'll see what they're doing. They're doing a really good job of running the football. There's that cutback.
Goes to Hulskamp. Very solid option on 1st down, or 2nd, or 3rd, or 4th down. When you have a Riley Hulskamp back there.
Yes, they're just letting him stretch the perimeter and find the crease. And again, he has a natural feel for it, when to put the foot in the ground, get his shoulders north and south, protect the football, and get turned up.
Well, again, really, you can't say enough about this Anna offensive line, considering this team has averaged, through their first 14 games, 318 yards per game on the ground. Flag down, and Hulskamp is tackled by Mitchell Seymour. Here's Matt Warren.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. The 2nd down.
That one goes against Anna. By the way, we want to say thank you to our official in the booth, Mike Dame. He is standing by in case we have any knotty problems to solve here. Not had anything crazy happen yet, but Mike is right here in the booth with us. It's our official. If we have any reviews or questions about odd plays.
4 wides here. Let's try. They need to try to get half of it back. Zone read.
Bixler out over the first wave of defenders and got very close to the 1st down marker, and they say move the sticks.
This is the first time he's pulled the ball on the zone read. You can see the defensive end come down inside, and Bixler pulls the ball. He's reading that unblocked defender on the edge, and as he comes down inside, he will pull the ball. But they have set that up by running the zone so effectively throughout the first half.
He was able to elude Brungard and get a couple extra yards for the 1st down.
I said get half of it back. They got all of it back.
5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
Read again.
It's half of it right there, Coach.
Yes. That was the counter read again that they've scored the touchdowns on and made the big plays. Right now, other than Holzkamp carrying the ball, that's their best play with Bixler. That is a tough play to stop.
We have a couple of receivers spread out wide right this time. As Justin Richards, make it to Jeffrey Richards in the slot position. Isaac Leininger lined up as a wide receiver there at the bottom of your screen. 2nd down and 4. Playbook is open for the Rockets. Here's Camp behind Bixler. Rockets up by 20. Option. Bixler keeps it. That's the 1st down and a lot more. Walker gets him out of bounds.
The way they're getting everybody blocked with that H-back, there is no one to take the quarterback. You can see everybody is blocked. Somehow Springfield has to figure out how to get an extra guy or defender over there. And I know that's difficult. They may have to bring a safety down.
From a number 5 seed in Region 23. Rockets on the cusp of their first state championship. They lead by 20. Late 3rd quarter. Here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Division 6 final. Wilskamp will turn on the Jets.
Right after I said that, Dave, they did adjust. They brought the safety down and kept the outside linebacker. They brought him back to the box. That was that extra defender in there.
Yeah, and that left Evan Olin on the edge, who made the stop. Got Hulskamp knocked off balance just enough to get him to the turf. That's a run-heavy offense right there.
Yes, it is. And again, they're really doing a nice job of mixing up the quarterback and halfback runs.
And right now, keeping the clock moving, Coach. Time is the friend of the Rockets. Hulskamp straight ahead, power running, dragged down by John Slike.
Running inside zone, and I think they're in the red zone or right on the 20-yard line. So, yeah, you can see everybody getting a hat on a hat. They're north and south running.
Hulskamp, 20-yard burst for a TD.
In a classic inside zone. It was the same play that they ran the previous play, and they are really coming off the ball, zone blocking. You can see a little crease on the backside. He gets his shoulders north and south and accelerates through. Well, they're holding true to form because they've got 40 points already. Unbelievable offense.
Hulskamp authoring an historical performance here in the state championship game. That one booted through. 41-14. 4 touchdowns today for that young man, including one on the defensive side. And
Elk & Elk's tradition is to bring verdicts to our clients, invest in our community, and recruit the best talent.
Our tradition of supporting Ohio and the Buckeyes is part of our identity. 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Go Bucks!
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, then you owe it to yourself to call this number. Let our experts help guide you through the process of negotiating a tax settlement. Call this number or go to tax10000.com.
Am I fatigued looking?
No.
But if you look really close.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
What is secret for long years, man?
The great thing about us, never argue, never fight.
Don't come crying to me when the whole thing turns down.
You were right.
Thank you.
Morning News, weekday mornings on Spectrum News 1.
the Rockets leading the Springfield local Tigers by a score of 41-14. 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go. See the touchdown run right here. Again, a tremendous hole opened up front.
Everybody is just zone blocking. By that I mean they're just blocking an area to their left or to their right. In this instance, it's to the left. and the running back tries to find a crease in that zone blocking where the defenders separate themselves just by the amount of speed that they pursue to the ball. Sometimes natural creases occur, and the running back is trying to find that crease. And Riley Holzkamp has an innate ability to see those creases and attack them.
Holzkamp's numbers on the afternoon: 14 carries, 121 yards. Third member of our broadcast team is Kellyanne Stitz. She's on the sidelines. Kellyanne.
Hey guys, it wouldn't be championship season without talking about how dominant the Midwest Athletic Conference is. They have a total of 33 state titles. And meanwhile, Anna does participate in MAC football only. A win will be the 34th MAC football team to win a championship. They're also the only school in the conference to not have a championship. Now, when it's all said and done by this weekend, the MAC could have a total of 35 state titles with Marion local playing tomorrow. They so far have 10 total titles, and a win would give them 11. But again, how dominant they are, they could have a total of 35 state titles by the end of this weekend.
Kellyanne, thank you very much. Incredible conference performance over the years. Those 33 titles, Coach, all since 1989. We had 3 champions a year ago. As Kellyanne mentioned, maybe 2 this weekend. Anna well on the way to their first.
A lot of good football players in that conference over the years. This is just a simple quick pass, a hitch game, and they weren't able to complete it. They went with 4 wides. They're now doing what you call 10 personnel. 4 wide receivers, 1 running back, and no tight ends.
Old run guard takes the snap for the Tigers. Crossing pattern hauled in by Evan Olin. He's been their go-to receiver today, Coach. He gets out to the 42-yard line. That's a 22-yard strike to the senior.
Little strategical adjustment there. Anna is dropping one of the safeties down in the hole about 7 yards from the line of scrimmage on the snap of the ball, and he is spying Brungard. And that's where the crease was, where the slant hit.
Brungard, he's going to be sacked. Brought down by Grant Spangler.
They were trying a little corner route down here, and it was covered. You see him waiting. Might even went with a little double move. He just doesn't have a lot of time. He has to get the ball out quickly, or he's running.
Spangler, the DB, with his first sack of the year, 60th tackle overall.
Maybe look for a screen here.
Second down and long after the sack. This one overthrown. Evan Olin was the intended target.
I think he was trying to back shoulder. That's called a back shoulder fade there, and he just threw it a little bit too high. You throw it to the receiver's back shoulder when the DB is over top of him when you are running a vertical route.
And his defensive coordinator, coach, is Brian Rioch. He was the longtime head coach of the Rockets, preceding Nick Marino.
Going to a little man under 2 deep here.
Down the middle into no man's land, falls incomplete right there on the Hall of Fame logo. But Brian Rioch with a great defensive plan today.
Yes.
He had a great run as head coach in 14 seasons, 111-52, his overall record with the Rockets, but now working as the defensive coordinator, and they have really bottled up the Springfield offense today.
Yes, and I really like that adjustment where they're dropping one safety down in the hole to spy Brungard so that he can't get a big play, or at least there's someone on him.
It does force the Medvec punt. No return here. It'll be about a 27-yard kick when all is said and done. No return. Riley Holzkamp today, the senior, the Division VI Player of the Year. He has been running wild today on both sides of the ball. 4 total touchdowns.
You just very rarely see him losing any yardage. He always gets north and south. And he has great balance. You can see there, he took hits and he doesn't go down.
121 yards on the day. That's not counting the 32-yard INT return, which opened the third quarter. Keep it in the hands of Bixler. First team All-Ohio QB. What a combo to have your Division VI Player of the Year in your backfield, plus a first team All-State QB running the show.
That's why they're scoring 40 to 50 points a game. When you have that combination, it is so difficult to defend.
We talked about their propensity to put pressure on the quarterback defensively as well. The Anna defensive line.
Here's an adjustment. Springfield Locals in a 5-3 defense. They have 5 down linemen and 3 linebackers inside the box.
They're ready to come charging here. Put it in Hulskamp's hands. He got popped near the sideline and run out of bounds.
They had 8 people inside the box, and they ran the jet sweep, and there wasn't a lot outside. Obviously, when you get 8 people in the box, you're going to be in some kind. Wow.
That's Duval.
That's a big hit on the sidelines.
Final minute of the third quarter.
Same format. They are trying to force them to throw the football. There is no one in the middle of the field. No one. Those 3 DBs are manned up, and everybody is inside.
Option pitch goes to Hulskamp.
And what they're doing right now is exactly how you attack it. You have 8 men inside, 7 men, 8 men, and they're coming to the outside with the perimeter game. That was the speed option. You get the ball pitched, and the DBs are fighting off blocks. They're fighting off those blocks. Great job of blocking on the perimeter by the wide receivers.
There you see Hulskamp running right at you. Bo Snyder made the stop.
Now they're back to their standard defense.
It is 2nd down and 1 after a 9-yard pickup. Mark Bixler.
Play action pass, he's wide open.
Man, downfield, pass is dropped.
Oh my goodness.
That was Jeffrey Richards, who was in the open.
Sometimes you're too wide open, and you're just thinking about the end zone. That was a perfect play call. Faking that perimeter run, and Bixler puts it right on the money.
Richards, the senior, 7 TD receptions on the year. Is certainly outside the norm for him.
Good play call at 2nd and 1. Take the shot. That's kind of old school football 101. 2nd and short, put it up there. Looks like quarterback sneak here.
Bixler gets the first down.
They are chewing a lot of clock here, Dave.
They've nursed this one almost all the way to the end of the third quarter. They will move the chains and then wind the clock. And the teams will change ends. We are 75% through the Division VI State Championship game. The Rockets firing on all cylinders. They're up 41-14. We go to the all-important fourth quarter next.
A family-owned company, Header Heating and Cooling, is the industry's only 2-time winner of the George Award for Ethics. They've been earning the trust of homeowners in Northwest Columbus for over 50 years, making each customer feel like they are part of the family. When your furnace needs to be serviced, call Header Heating and Cooling and have the peace of mind that the job is done right. With every installation, every service run, and every phone call, Header Heating and Cooling is committed to your satisfaction.
This is the Jones family.
We have a good deal on our wireless plan.
Are you sure? Spectrum Mobile can do better. How many lines do you have?
4.
And how much data do you use?
Grandma and I email and text, but these two share and stream tons of videos.
And how much are you paying per month? Don't forget those added taxes and fees and surcharges.
Oh, then $220.
Spectrum Mobile lets you customize your plans. You and Grandma can be in our Buy the Gig plan with shareable data, and your wife and daughter can be in our unlimited data plan. Offer $118 per month with no taxes and fees. Spectrum Mobile has the best data plans for your family. All plans include unlimited talk and text with no contracts. See? I proved you could save within minutes. Now it's your turn. Grab your bill and see how much you can save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/USave to calculate your savings in 3 easy steps. Or call us at 1-833-295-7283 and we'll do it for you.
Spectrum News 1.
Between Mary, Local, and Anna, they could have 35. Ooh.
"41-14, the Anna Rockets lead Springfield Local. First Shelby County team to appear in a state football championship game, and they have excelled from the get-go. They have the football to start quarter number 4, and it's Hulskamp adding to his ledger. He has filled up the stat sheet today. He picks up 6 yards.
I think it's going to be the Riley Hulskamp show right now. They're going to run as much clock as they possibly can. They even had 2 backs in the backfield there. Get a lead blocker for him. Malachi Minich in the backfield there.
Taking their time here. Play clock is winding down. It hits 10. Springfield Local, unbeaten. Anna 13-1. 2 powerhouse Division 6 programs. They fake to the fullback, Minnick. And then Bixler kept it.
Yeah, that was a zone read option, and he was using Hulskamp as the pitchman. Run the zone, read the edge defender. See what the edge defender does. Pull the ball, pitch off of it.
Hulskamp and Minnick will stay in. 3rd down and 2 for the Anna Rockets. Only loss was back in week 5. They have rolled through the playoffs. Bixler will be sacked.
Trying to
force a 4th down, Coach.
Yeah, they were. That was a different play. They notice the quarterback is faking the sweep with Hulskamp and then running a quarterback isolation play with minutes leading up on the linebacker. They just could not get everyone blocked. That there's too many. There's one more person in the box than they have to block.
Clayton Nesbeth brought him down in the sack. 4th down and 5. And they get to the 36-yard line. Ball on the 41, and the Rockets will use a timeout. That's their first of the second half.
I think they wanted to see the defensive alignment and now make a decision on how they were going to adjust to that formation.
Along with Kellyanne Stitz on the sideline and the Ohio High School football coaches Hall of Famer Vince Suriano, David Wilson. Here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, there's a stop in the action. We want to pause and celebrate 1 year of Spectrum News 1. To the entire Spectrum News 1 gang. Growing, getting better and better, serving the entire state. Happy to be bringing you high school football championship action this weekend here on Spectrum News 1.
They might punt this now.
That'll make it 4th and 10.
Yeah, it was an interesting set. They were in what you call a condensed set for our viewers. You had 2 receivers on each side, but they were in tight. That's kind of in vogue in football now. The LA Rams kind of made that big, and a lot of high school teams and college teams are using that now. They just call it constricted or condensed sets. And it forces some adjustments by the defense. So we are right. They are going to punt the ball dead.
Will Luthman drops back. 6'2" senior. There it goes. He just got that one away. And got a good punt off. Looking at about the 12 by Walker, and he snowed under. Justin Murray was there first, hoping to get him down to the ground. Coach, when you were coaching at the high school level, did you watch a lot of pro and college games to maybe get some different formations, different plays?
More college than pro, because I felt the college athlete was more in tune with the athletes that we had. That, you know, the pros had all day to work on everything, and so and I would go to colleges on our spring break and spend 4 or 5 days at particular colleges that what I was interested in learning or doing.
How many times did you wake up in the middle of the night with a play in your head and you grab a notepad and scribble it out?
I kept a notepad right on the dresser.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. Make it 2nd and 10 now. That one intended for Olin.
Yeah, that was a sprint out smash route. Smash means that the outside receiver's doing a 6-yard hitch and the inside receiver's doing a corner route, and you are reading the corner. Maybe he misread it because the corner did not move. And usually when that happens, you want to throw over top to the receiver running the corner route.
27-point lead for the Rockets. They've taken the air out of the ball, so to speak. 9:34 to go, 4th quarter. Running play and netting about 3 as they get across the 15-yard line. They're pinned back deep after the nice kickoff by Luthman a few moments ago. Now they're looking at a long 3rd down, 3rd and 7.
Dave, what I'm so impressed with is when you look at Anna's defense, they are not that big. But boy, they are athletic and they run to the football.
6'2" across the defensive line. I started to mention it earlier. Between their starting 3 defensive linemen, 27 sacks on the year. Deep downfield, Brungard. Just a little bit too far in front of Garrett Walker.
I don't know if our audience could see it, our viewers, but the receiver coming underneath that post was open. So you can see the receiver, you can see Olin coming in underneath, and he's open underneath.
Brandon Shannon
both
getting away with a little bit of a grab of the arm right there.
Yeah, both defenders jumped the long route, and the square in underneath was open.
Bring about 4th down. Springfield will have to punt this one away. Too deep in their own territory unless they come up with a fake. It was kicked away by Medved. That takes a great bounce for the Tigers. Line of scrimmage was the 17. This one comes all the way back to the 22-yard line. Breaking the action here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Cape.
Roundup weed killer has been linked to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, as evidenced by a recent multi-million-dollar verdict. If you use Roundup and you've been diagnosed with cancer, call 1-800-HELP-OHIO.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. Call today for free information. Call 800-867-0280.
So this is Eva, and she goes everywhere with me. Like her, I have this innate sense of curiosity. I really like meeting new people. I love to explore, and right now I'm trying to travel to every national park across the country. Every morning, that same curiosity is what drives me as a journalist.
News 1, I'm Sophia Constantine.
It really fuels the type of stories that we do. It defines us as Ohioans. It's why I'm so excited to call this place home.
Well, the Springfield faithful, undaunted, still ringing the cowbell. 41-14, the Rockets. So we proceed through the 4th quarter. And Anna getting the ball back. That was close to a 63-yard punt by Clayton Medved. Pins Anna back deep at their own 22-yard line. 1st and 10 by the Rockets. Built a big lead in the first half. Springfield scored a couple of touchdowns before halftime and seemed to have some momentum coming out of the locker room, Vince, but that pick 6 by Riley Hulskamp really seemed to throw things back into the gear of the Rockets. And here's another big gainer by the quarterback at midfield, and now it's a foot race with real estate in front. Bixler, one man to beat, and he was finally tackled by Walker inside the 5-yard line.
That's that same play called the counter read, and really what Springfield did was they closed, and the play ended up going outside. The two pullers read that they had closed the defense, and both pullers led him outside. If you remember, he has been going up inside the defensive end. That time he went outside of him.
That one goes for 76 yards. And now they try to sneak it in, but he didn't make it. This will be right on the 1-foot line. 76 yards for Bart Bixler.
I thought he got it in there, but they can see it a lot better than I can. They are so good with that play, it's incredible.
Second down and 1.
Springfield made a good adjustment, and they just, what you do on the counter, they just took it outside. Logged that defensive end, which means hooked him, and took it outside.
Rockets are taking as much time as possible. Bixler throws diving in under center Luke Dye, and they get the TD. 6 more for Anna Bixler, gets the 6 after really earning it a couple of plays earlier with that 76-yard sprint.
He gets really low, gets that leverage, and gets right underneath there. They ought to give a clinic on the quarterback sneak.
47-14. They'll set up for the PAT. It'll be Ambos. The sophomore has been outstanding as a special teams kicker. And he boots that one through. 48-14. We'll see the scrum right here, resulting in the Anna touchdown.
Anna 48. Springfield local 14.
47 points, 48 points.
Bixler gets the glad hand as he gets to the sideline. Boy, what a day for that young man and his final high school game of his career. Let's check in on the sideline with Kellyanne Stitz.
What a dominant performance from quarterback Bart Bixler, but regardless of the score, what just happened, playing today in this game has come full circle for the senior quarterback. His dad, Andy Bixler, is a superintendent of Anna local schools, as Dave mentioned earlier, and has been on their Southwest District Athletic Board for a very long time, and he also served as the president of the OHSAA Board of Directors a few years ago, and all the board members come to the state championship games. So Bart has actually been coming to the finals since he was about 5 years old, and he says it's been a pretty neat moment for him to be here, but playing alongside his teammates, the friends that he grew up with, went to elementary school with, played in middle school with, has what made this moment today extra special. Guys, back to you.
Kellyanne, thank you very much. Bart's hair looks almost the same. He did in that picture with Coach Tressel.
Yeah.
48-14. Anna making a statement here in the championship game, coming in as the number 1 ranked team, taking on the number 2 ranked Springfield local Tigers. Again, you've got that offensive line firing as one for the Rockets. Dylan Steinke Ellinger, the left tackle. Will Luthman, the left guard. Luke Dye at center. Anthony Billings, the right guard. Evan Poppelman at right tackle. Those guys have just paved the way today for Bixler and Hillscamp. Here come the Tigers now. That is Seymour, I believe, carrying on a sweep.
A jet sweep, and we have a flag down, Dave. Maybe there was a hold on the perimeter.
We'll catch the call here from Matt Morin. Holding call against the Tigers. 6:52 to go. You start to get into a situation here as we listen for Matt's call.
Holding. Offense. Number 2. 10-yard penalty. No first down.
Start to get into that area of the game here, Vince, where the outcome is all but decided. And somewhat of a lopsided score. Springfield has not played their best football today, certainly not the way they wanted to come out and execute. This is a team that had bested all comers going into this game at 14-0.
Zone
play on the outside.
Zone play off of the jet sweep there.
But this is where you really have to remember what an accomplishment it is just to get to this game, let alone try and win it.
Right, and as they have their postseason banquet and awards, they need to focus on all the things that they did good throughout the year. You know, just because you lose one game, the season wasn't a failure. They've accomplished many, many good things. They're a good football team, and they've played many good football games. And that's how they should be remembered.
20. Lingard. Camp, another INT. They get him down at about the 31, maybe the 32-yard line. His second interception of the day. One is not enough in any category today for Riley Huelskamp.
Yeah, that was just a little bit short. It looked like he was trying to throw the corner route, and the ball, he didn't quite get his shoulders square. You can see he's kind of throwing off balance, so he doesn't have the steam on the ball that he wants. And Huelskamp just does a tremendous job of reading the pass concepts. And right now, Huelskamp isn't in the game. I think they might start substituting a little bit, Dave.
He seems a little fired up. That previous scoring play for Anna, 3 plays, and the bulk of that yardage on the Bixler run. Kind of puts it into the hands of Isaac Leininger that time. In fact, it might have been Hayden Davies.
Number 76,
Get the holding call against Anna. Clock continues to run here with the deficit over the limit, 48-14 Anna. And as we watch the Rockets here, just to finish up the thought on the Tigers we were making a moment ago, Vince, Bo Brungard succeeding his older brother Brandon as the Springfield QB, coached by his father as the offensive coordinator. Bo, just a sophomore.
Yes,
2 more years to develop.
He's one of the best sophomores, really, that I've seen in a long time when I watched him on video. I've seen some really good quarterbacks that were juniors and seniors, but I've not seen that many that were as good as him in the games that I saw as a sophomore.
Hayden Davies now in at tailback for the Rockets of Anna High School, just moments away from claiming their first state championship. Somewhere back there in the mass of those green jerseys, someone is plotting a Gatorade bath for Nick Marino.
I'm thinking no school for Anna on Monday. What are you thinking, Dave?
Mark Bixler will start selling that prospect to his father, Andy. Probably at the celebratory dinner tonight.
Absolutely.
Riley Huelskamp, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 146 yards on the ground.
They're going to be very basic, run as much time off the play clock as they possibly can here.
Coming up, we'll have the trophy presentations from the field on our post-game show. Guys are standing by on the set. Low snap. It's run by Brandon Axe, the backup quarterback who is in for Bixler. Axe, also a sophomore, 5'8", 140. There you see Brandon. But we talked about all of the phases that Anna has excelled in today. Wes Hunsicker, the offensive coordinator, Brian Rioch, the defensive coordinator, Christian Olthauser is their special teams coordinator, and it was some plays on special teams early that helped set the tone for the Rockets.
Yeah, especially that turnover on that punt. That was
huge. Davies, in fact, and carrying the ball right now, forced that fumble, number 22, for the Rockets. So, Coach, you know as well as anybody, having been on the sidelines, plays early in games set the tone, and they can really come up big late.
Yeah, it sets the tone for the game, and it can change the whole momentum. That the pick right after the halftime break is just huge. Anna has their twos in now.
Springfield takes over on downs here. 48-14. Take a look at the Anna defense. Forcing the fumble right there. Camp, the big hit. There's the sack by Luthman. Plays all day long on the defensive side, plus offense. Cranking out 48 points for the Rockets.
And we have to remember that the Anna defense has created 30 turnovers in the course of the year, which is really a lot of turnovers.
Plus 19 going into today's action. Both teams were on the positive side of the turnover battle through their first 14 games.
All these players getting in at the end of the game to be able to, 30 years from now, to tell their grandchildren they played in a state championship game.
Eric Walker on the end around was tackled by Brandon Axe. They come. Things got just a little colder.
Wow.
For Nick Marino.
If you're that good, you better make sure you have a lot of waterproof gear on.
Final seconds ticking off. The handshakes will begin at midfield. Anna Rockets of the Midwest Athletic Conference. They celebrate state championship number 1.
Anna played some great football today.
Nick Marino in his 5th year takes Anna to the top of Division 6. 48-14, your final score. Springfield local Tigers taste defeat for the first time. They finish at 14-1. The Rockets with a similar 14-1 ledger to cap off 2019.
You know what, Dave? There's a lot of coaches out there that would take a 14-1 season this year. So Springfield local has nothing to be ashamed of. They came out, they fought hard, and played exceptionally well.
2 phenomenal programs at the small school level. Great numbers, great work ethic, tremendous community support. What a great crowd we had on both sides today. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, loud and proud today for both the Tigers and the Rockets. Kellyanne is standing by with a happy coach.
Coach Marino, the program began back in 2000. You guys joined the MAC in 2005, and now you're bringing home your first state title, your first championship win in the MAC. How are you feeling right now?
Couldn't be proud of our kids, man. They played hard all season long. They got better and better, and played some of our best football at the end of the year. And obviously, with the 20-some seniors we had, it's awesome for those guys and for our whole community. Didn't have football there 20 years ago. Varsity football started 20 years ago, so that's pretty dang cool. So, yeah.
Dominant performance on both offense and defense, especially from Riley Hughes' camp. What do you have to say about the overall performance of your team today?
Oh, they played well. The guys played hard. I thought we got better as the game went on there. Played better defensively, obviously. Riley Hughes' camp's he's a game changer. Somebody in college needs to pick him up. People have been a little afraid of him because of his size, but he should be a scholarship kid. Somebody's missing out if they don't get it.
What do you have to say about quarterback Buxler? He grew up coming here, and today he won a state title. How do you rate his performance today?
He's a tough competitor. He gets after it. We're going to miss him, man. He's a good football player. He had to finally get that big touchdown, almost touchdown run, and we punched him in on a quarterback sneak there. So, yeah.
Congratulations on the state championship.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kellyanne, thank you very much, and thanks to Nick Marino for sharing some thoughts. Kellyanne will have some more guests for us coming up here as our post-game show begins from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. If you've joined us late, you've just missed the entire game. But what a performance by the Anna Rockets today, 48-14. Listen to their finals, Coach, in the playoffs. They took on Minster from the MAC Conference in the opening round on the road, 47-21, a win. Then Fairview, 54-20. They beat Archbold, 42-7, and then Mechanicsburg, 36-6. And now today they had a 48-14 win in the state championship. Let's head back down to Kellyanne.
I'm joined by Riley Heelskamp. He had 2 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns, Division 6 Player of the Year, and now a state champion. How are you feeling right now?
That's just the icing on the cake. It's great. Just so much accomplished. All of our seniors. That's just a big accomplishment for all the seniors and all the team that we worked so hard this whole season about.
Congratulations on becoming a state championship, and thank you.
Thank you.
There you see Riley, some of the highlights from his game today, Coach, but just listening to those finals, the way they have approached things and taken care of business in the postseason says a lot.
Yes, they've been just able to be consistent game after game after game, which is huge.
We're getting ready for the presentation of the runner-up trophy to the Springfield Tigers, coached by Sean Guerrero.
Will present the Division 6 runner-up trophy in River football to the Tigers of Springfield Local High School.
Coach Guerrero and the outstanding athletes from Springfield High School, you have had a tremendous season. Let's just look back. Regular season undefeated. You played 4 opponents in the regular season that made it to the football tournaments. That's outstanding. You play in a very difficult conference, the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference, and through 4 weeks of this tournament, you won and you earned the right to represent your school for the very first time in this final football game. Young men, these folks up here that have traveled from Mahoney County and from New Middletown are so proud of you, and you should be proud as well, because what you have done today, you have represented yourself extremely well and your community and your school, and we are very proud of everything that you've accomplished in this 2019 football season. I'm here with Mr. Watkins and Mr. Leffingwell. They're both on our board of directors, and we are honored to present to Springfield High School this trophy and this commemorative game ball, 2019 Division 6 runner-up. Congratulations, Tigers.
Sean Guerrero accepting the trophy with some of his seniors and captains. Springfield locals, we mentioned during the broadcast, the first Mahoning County public school to reach the state final since Canfield did it back in 2005. So quite an accomplishment for the Tigers. As we mentioned, they finish at 14-1. They were champions of the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference. 48-14. You're watching post-game coverage of the Division 6 state championship game won by the Anna Rockets under head coach Nick Marino. And again, worth repeating, this team has only been a football-playing high school for 20 years. They've been in the playoffs now 12 out of those 20 seasons. And they have a state championship now. They will prepare to present the coveted state championship trophy to the Anna Rockets.
Coach Marina and the Anna High School athletes, what a fine season you've had. Folks may not know that you've only been playing football since about 2000, I believe, so about 20 years. You're in that perennial tough Midwest Athletic Conference for football. Team to ever make it to this final football game. Now, we know you play in the Shelby County League for a lot of other sports, and you've been very successful in volleyball, basketball, cross country, track and field, baseball, but this is your first time in the football final, and it's such an honor to present to Anna Rockets this gold trophy and this commemorative ball. Seniors, coaches, step forward. Congratulations.
Put it up, put it up. Yeah!
Riley Hulskamp hosting the championship trophy in Division 6. They bring another title home for the MAC, the 34th overall football championship, and for the Midwest Athletic Conference as a whole, the 135th all-time title across all sports. Vince Suriano, great working with you today. Hopefully we can do it again very soon.
Same to you, Dave.
Special thanks to Kellyanne Stitz for her fine work on the sideline, and a job well done by our director, John Staley, and our producer, Jeff Hitzman, and all of our Spectrum News 1 crew. Now for Vince Suriano, this is David Wilson saying goodbye from Canton. Congratulations to the Anna Rockets, state champs in Division 6. More high school football coming up.
Welcome to Green & Sons. We're the Green. And we've got something to show you.
Kubota BX, B, and L Series. Over 100 in stock and ready for you. Hey, old dinosaur.
We've been in business for over 50 years, but that doesn't make me a dinosaur.
Come to Green & Sons and check out our dynamite deals.
The greatest selection of zero-turn motors.